You ever see a portrait and it just looks real? I mean, so real you feel like you could have a conversation with it? Well, there's a secret to that, a kind of hidden architecture to the human face, a blueprint that artists have been using forever to get that perfect, lifelike balance. So let's get into it. Let's map it out.
We've all been there, right? Whether you're a seasoned artist or just doodling, you draw a face and something is just not quite right. You've got the eyes, the nose, the mouth, but it feels flat. The reason, pretty much every single time, comes down to one thing: proportion.
Now, the secret doesn't start with some crazy complex anatomy lesson. No, it starts way simpler. Just imagine taking a face and drawing two horizontal lines across it, dividing it into three perfectly equal parts. Seriously, one part from the hairline down to the eyebrows, the next from the eyebrows to the bottom of the nose, and the last from the bottom of the nose to the chin. That's it. That's our foundation.
Okay, so with that foundation in place, we add this scaffolding. We're going to draw two more lines, but this time they're vertical. And again, they divide the face into three equal columns. And bam! Just like that, you've got this simple but incredibly powerful 9-square grid. This little 3x3 grid, this is the entire blueprint we need to place every feature with total precision.
Now, every single square in this grid is important, don't get me wrong, but there is one zone that is the absolute key to the whole thing. I'm talking about that central, horizontal strip, the middle third. This is where the magic really truly happens. It is the heart of the portrait.
I mean, think about it. This is the expressive center of the entire face. The eyebrows, the eyes, the nose. This is how we recognize each other. This is where we show emotion. Getting the proportions right in this one specific zone, that's probably the most important step you can take to make a face feel truly alive.
All right, let's start actually building inside this crucial zone. We'll start at the very top with the eyebrows. And they aren't just kind of floating up there randomly. Oh no, they have a very specific job. They act as the upper boundary for this whole expressive part of the face.
And getting this right is all about precision. Look here. See how the eyebrows sit right on, or maybe just a hair below, that top line of our middle section? They're not way up in the forehead or drifting down. They are the architectural dividing line between the forehead and the eye sockets, locked right in.
Next up, the eyes. You know, people call them the windows to the soul, right? Well, for our purposes, they're more like the windows to the structure. Their placement isn't a guess. It's not a feeling. It's dictated perfectly by our grid.
And this right here, this shows you the real power of this blueprint. The eyes are contained completely inside those two central squares of our grid. They're not touching the outer lines, they're not floating up or down, they are perfectly centered within their own little quadrants. And what does that do? It guarantees perfect spacing and symmetry every single time.
Okay, time for the central pillar that holds this entire middle section together, the nose. It's the last big feature that really anchors this zone, and its placement, you guessed it, is perfectly defined by that bottom horizontal line.
Now, pay close attention to this detail. That bottom line of the middle third, that marks the structural base of the nose, where the cartilage actually connects. Now, sure, the fleshy tip of the nose itself might hang a little lower, and that's totally fine. That's character design, but the underlying structure, it is locked in by our grid.
And this brings us to a really, really important idea. We've just built the foundation, right? The solid, unshakable structure. But a face isn't just structure, is it? It's life, it's emotion, it's expression. And that, well, that's where you, the artist, come in.
Just look at this breakdown. The grid's job is to tell you where to put the eyebrows. Your job, the artist's job, is to decide their shape, their angle, to show if they're surprised or angry. The grid tells you where the eyes go, but you define the shape of the eyelid to show joy or sadness. The grid sets the base of the nose, but you decide on the subtle flare of the nostrils.
This is the big takeaway here. The grid, this whole blueprint, it's a tool for accuracy. It gives you the where and makes sure it's right. But the what, the character, the feeling, the entire story that face is telling, that's all you.
You know, I love this metaphor because it says it all perfectly. The grid is the foundation. It makes sure the house is structurally sound, that it won't fall over. But how you decorate the rooms, the personality, the style, the life inside, that's up to you. That's the art.
So, there you have it. The knowledge is yours now. You have the architectural plan to create a perfectly proportioned, totally believable human face. So the only question left is, what are you gonna build? What kind of character, what story will you bring to life?